Hello, Donald Lane.
How are you, Rick? You know, an American meeting, you know how Americans are about royalty. I mean, this is just such a thrill for me. A boy from New York City meeting royalty. It's really wonderful.
Well, it's very nice. You know, I think I can say it without sounding, conceited or a little stuck up, as we used to say at school.
Yeah.
But I am Australian royalty, and it's a tremendous honour. We don't have a royal family. We very, very much feel close to the royals in London, and of course their visits to Australia are welcomed, I think, by so many of us. But while they're away, it's a responsibility I have to fill in. I was talking to Prince Charles on the phone the other night, as a matter of fact. We use a code, Don.
You and Prince... Oh, because...
When we chat on the phone, we use a little code, otherwise it all appears in a German magazine. He was saying, hold the fort. More or less, he was saying to me.
That's tremendous responsibility for a woman, having to hold the fort, so to speak.
Well, what I've found, Don, is that people get a little bit nervous with me, and it's something I never want. I'm a very, very straightforward kind of a person. I'm exquisitely dressed at the moment, and I've come up in the world. Now, there are a lot of people who've come up in the world, Don Lane, and they tend to be... consider themselves a cut above everyone else, and I don't. I'm very much a person of the people.
Very much in touch with the common people. I was going to say that.
The common people? Well, yes. I've just been in Sydney, if that's what you mean.
Oh. Yes, that's close.
Well, they're a teeny... my mother used to have this marvellous expression, Don.
Yes.
She used to say certain people were a little bit C-O-M-M-O-N. She used to spell it. I wonder if any of our viewers' mums ever did that. Or she used to say, so-and-so, don't play with so-and-so. She's a little bit ordinary. You remember that expression? I think there's a new generation who are above such snobberies. And I don't wish to speak ill of my mother, because she'll be watching this in the Twilight Home right now in the recreation hut. But there were little injunctions of that kind given to us as girls. And one of the things, particularly when I first went up to Sydney, she said, you'll find a lot of people are a little bit C-O-M-M-O-N, a tiny bit ordinary up there. And indeed they are, but I love the rough edges and the people up in Sydney, I really do. And I very much enjoyed, I was doing a kind of, I don't say a show, Don. I don't do a show, I do a sharing. It's a kind of, it's like group therapy, really, it is. And in a way, that's what you've been doing in this marvellous show.
It is called an evening's intercourse, they tell me.
Yes, that's the name of it, as a matter of fact. And you looked that up in your dictionary.
Yes.
Because it means all kinds of things. It doesn't mean anything yucky. You know, a lot of people, I think, have got sex on the brain. They have, there's no doubt.
Sex does dominate this society, however, I know.
Well, I'm a permissive person, too. I hope I am, because... It's part of our time, and I think that we were a little bit too... Everything was a bit too closed off when I was a girl. I think there were some things I couldn't talk to my mother about, and now, of course, I can, because she can't hear a word I say.
You know, I must admit, I'm not one to really admit this on my own program, but when I knew that you were coming here, I did get a little bit nervous. And you, on the other hand, seem so self-assured.
Well, I seem that. I think part of my artistry, and one of the things that's made me loved internationally and made me immensely rich, envied, one of the most envied... Oh,
excuse me, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. It's not upstage, I'm sorry. What else could I do? It's gone.
I hope you haven't got an allergy to anything. An allergy to superstardom, perhaps.
Yes, could be. Yes.
But... in spite of all that, one of the little secrets that I've got, and I'm going to divulge it because there's something about this show, and it's so central, really, to the life of Australia now. It's the one big variety musical chat show that belongs and has belonged very much in our homes and our hearts for a long time now. I'm going to say it, and I've never said it before, but one of my secrets, one of the tricks of my trade, is that I've succeeded in making the difficult seem easy. And I think that's something that a lot of artists try to do, and very few do it so consummately well as I do. And making the difficult seem easy and making my little butterflies not show, because I suffer from them, viewers. Sometimes I'm terrified, and sometimes, if I'm sitting in a gorgeous restaurant before a show and I was having a little snack in my luxury suite before the show, and your camera boys followed me, and I was only able to pick at the caviar. I was only able to sip at the champagne, because my butterflies were going, another public appearance. Once more, I go before the people I love. And I know it sounds silly. You'd think, Dame Edna, you do it every night. You do it on the stage. Don't you ever get nervous? Yes, every time. And I think there'd be something the matter with me if I wasn't nervous. I'd be a cold, hard, calculating type of a woman. And I'm glad you get a little bit nervous because it shows that there's a sensitivity there. And I think that's very important. I think that's why that gets through to people. It gets through all these wires and these pieces of glass and lenses and these satellites and finds its way into the igloos, into the jungle where the pygmies live. And they're seeing us sincerity because my bottom line is sincerity. But my bottom line, I'm heavily into sincerity. These are expressions I use which the young people like. I don't know what they mean, but they like them.